Hare Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you everyone for being here. I'm not sure how many sitting here can see the screen. Is it possible?
Yeah, we'll move it.
फिर से चला नहीं जाना चाहिए.
Mataji, we can come forward.
Thank you all very much for being here. How many are here for the very first time? Anyone? Not here. Two. Anyone else who's not being here for the very first time? Okay, only two. So every Saturday normally, around this time, of course the time is 7:01, but it's a little icy. By the time we started at 7:20, but we would keep it for about 20-30 minutes, like every weekday. And we have a discussion from the scriptures. Every Saturday night we have been discussing a book called as the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. In essence, it is a book that speaks about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is not different from Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And temple we see, we have programs on Friday also, Saturday also, and also Sunday. So whichever day is convenient for you, please walk in. I'm pretty sure there's some class going on by some speaker, and even if nothing is going on, I hope you at least get prasad. If not at this temple, at least it's Sanamishi. Whichever time you walk in, that's the glory of Sanamishi temple, and I can say this with full conviction. There's so many temples in North America, so many strong temples in North America. But I think it's only the Sanamishi temple where you get prasadam any time of the day when you walk in. In India, it is very common to get prasadam in the temple whichever time you go, because there is so much manpower and so many temples are there. But in the West, it is a little difficult. But under the guidance and supervision of Zolan Sanikilas Maharaj, we see that it's a Sanamishi temple. We have prasadam all the time. Whoever is coming, whether the person practices, is not practicing, doesn't matter. Srila Prabhu's mission was anyone who walks into a temple should be given prasad. Everything else later, prasad should be given. In fact, in one place Prabhupada says, that program that ends without a prasadam is a program in the mode of ignorance. So prasadam is a very integral part, because it is blessed and accepted by the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So every Saturday, we come here to speak about Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, about Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So today I thought we will do a bit different. As we mentioned last time, that this will be our last class in this journey, in this visit, however we call it. So I wanted to give a break to Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita and go into a topic that is most time discussed by most people in every part of the world, whether they are young, whether they are old, Indian, American, male, female, etc. It's a very, very popular topic. But before we go into that topic, we see Krishna in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. He speaks about a certain principle which is associated with the topic that we want to discuss. So before we get started, let us chant this verse. This is chapter 15, text 8. If you cannot see the screen at the back, you can feel free to pull up your phone, not your WhatsApp. Feel free to pull up your phone. This is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, text 8. Please can you repeat? Shariram yadavapnoti,
Shariram yadavapnoti,
Yachapi
Yachapi
Gridvaitani samyati,
Gridvaitani samyati,
Vayurgandhani vashayat,
Vayurgandhani vashayat,
Shariram yadavapnoti,
Shariram yadavapnoti,
Yachapi
Yachapi
Gridvaitani samyati,
Gridvaitani samyati,
Vayurgandhani vashayat,
Vayurgandhani vashayat, Shariram yadavapnoti, Yachapi Utkramitishvaraha, Gridvaitani samyati, Vayurgandhani vashayat.
Shariram yad avapnoti,
Shariram yadavapnoti,
yachapi utkramatishvara,
Yachapi Utkramatishvaraha,
Gridvaitani samyati,
Gridvaitani samyati,
Vayurgandhani vasayat,
Vayurgandhani vashayat.
Shariram yadavapnoti,
Shariram yadavapnoti,
Chakramatishvaraha,
Yachapi Utkramatishvaraha,
Gridvaitani samyati,
Gridvaitani samyati,
Vayurgandhani
Vayurgandhani
vashayat.
vashayat.
Anyone else will do this?
Shariram yadavapnoti,
Shariram yadavapnoti,
yachapi utkramatishvaraha,
Yachapi Utkramatishvaraha,
Gridvaitani samyati,
Gridvaitani Vayorgandhanavashaya.
शरीरं यदवाप्नोति
यच्चापि उत्क्रमतीश्वरः
गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति
वायुर्गन्धानि वाशय.
शरीरं यदवाप्नोति
यच्चापि उत्क्रमतीश्वरः
गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति
वायुर्गन्धानि वाशय.
Translation: the living entity in the material world carries its different conceptions of life from one body to another, as the air carries aromas. Thus, he takes one kind of body and again quits to take another. Please can you repeat? The living entity in the material world
The living entity in the material world
carries its different conceptions
carries its different conceptions
of life from
Of life.
one body to another,
of life from one body to another,
as the air carries aromas.
as the air carries aromas.
Thus he takes one kind of body
Thus he takes one kind of body
and again quits
and again quits
to take another.
To
to
take
take
another.
another.
Pretty self-explanatory. Krishna gives a beautiful example. Just like wherever we go, we see we have aroma, fragrance that we can smell because of our nose. We can smell the fragrance. But that fragrance, we all agree that that fragrance is carried by the wind. It's the wind that carries the fragrance. Right? No one carries the fragrance on their shoulder or their hands. It's the wind that carries the fragrance. And that fragrance reaches from one person to another. But the wind carries it. Similarly, Krishna in this 15th chapter called as Purushottam Adhyaya. It is a chapter that describes about the opulence of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. And it is a chapter that is normally discussed and spoken during Purushottam Mass. Krishna is called as Purushottam. Purusha means man, and Uttam means first class. So the Supreme Lord is always first class. He doesn't settle for second. He doesn't settle for third. It's like almost, like I say this, Krishna is like the Indian parent. The Indian parent, whenever the child comes home and says, I got 98 out of 100, 2 mark किधर गए? गुप्ता जी को लड़का को मिला, तुमको क्यों नहीं मिला? I remember when I was young, my brother and I, we would get decent marks. My father, very funny, he would always say, okay, you got that much, how much did the topper get? So I would say this much. If he can get that much, why you can't get it? Every person said, what is his father giving him and I am not giving him? Mother is always married. Typical Indian parent. ऐसा प्यार का है कि उसके पिताजी आपको दे रहे हैं, आप It's a typical Indian. So the Indian mindset is we don't settle for second. This is a very good mindset. We like competition and we want to be the top. So that quality is coming from Bhagavan because he also doesn't like to settle for second. Purusha Uttam, he is first class. Right? Even the verses that are used to glorify him, Krishna has one name called as, please repeat, Uttam Shloka.
Uttama shloka.
Uttam means? Shloka means? Verses. Uttam Shloka, that personality who is described and glorified the best among verses. So in verses also he wants to be first. As a person also he wants to be first. The Supreme Lord doesn't settle for second. That is why it's called as Purushottam. When he comes as Ramachandra Bhagavan, he is called Maryada Purushottam. Maryada means etiquette, discipline. He doesn't break Maryada. He has Ekapatni Vrata. Mother Sita gets kidnapped, he doesn't get married to someone else. He fights and finds Mother Sita. Right? His father says, go to the forest, he accepts. Even though he had every reason to even come back, because Dasharatha had departed the school and Bharat had come to the forest and asked him to come back to rule like him. But Maryada Purushottam Ramachandra said no. It is the instruction of our Father, we have to accept. So Maryada. The Supreme Lord Krishna is called as
Leela.
Leela Purushottam, which means when he comes down as Krishna, his pastimes is Leela Purushottam, first class. Krishna's pastimes are such, they can be admired. Krishna's pastimes cannot be copied. Krishna's instructions need to be followed and Ramachandra's activities need to be followed. We cannot flip both. We cannot go outside and say, "Our mount Rainier Uttainge." Doesn't work. Bhagavan is Bhagavan. Krishna is Krishna. You have to go over them. Right? I always see this that, especially in America, when the girls are 15, 16, 17, they have this Bharatanatyam, Arangetram, right? And the whole congregation is invited. There is a performance center, and there are hundreds of people in the audience. Lights are dim, and the girl dances and people clap. Excellent art, right? But Krishna was 7 years old when Krishna danced. Now the interesting part is, in an Arangetram, when you dance, the floor doesn't move. When Krishna dances at 7, he goes one notch higher, Purushottam. I told you, he will not settle for normal floor. He wants a dancing floor, moving floor. And he picks Kalia as the dancing arena. And Kalia is thinking, my goodness, my 100 hoods have become the dancing arena, and Krishna nicely dances, and Krishna autographs his lotus feet as imprints. Krishna autographs all the hoods of Kali. And because he had the autograph or the imprint of Kali of Krishna, Garuda forgave Kali. Because we have heard the story, Garuda and Kali had some transcendental ifs and buts. And Krishna blessed him with his lotus feet. So when he comes as Ram, he is Maryada Purushottam. Comes as Krishna, Leela. But that same Lord, when he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is Prema Purushottam. Because no one bestows love unto the Supreme Lord as much as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ramachandra came, established discipline. Krishna came, Krishna gave the sweetness of his pastimes. But how to go back to Krishna? Well, Krishna is there, okay. Ramachandra is there, okay, but how is it relatable to me? Right? I am there in Kali Yuga having a 9 to 5 IT job. How is Krishna's pastimes and Ramachandra's pastimes are relatable to me in a sedentary 9 to 5 job? How do we relate? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes down in the mood of a devotee as to how a devotee should be and what a devotee should do and how he should channel his life to get Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Prema Purushottam comes to show the world devotee matlab aisa. Devotee means he should be like this. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Maryada Purushottam, Leela Purushottam, and Prema Purushottam. So here Krishna was Leela Purushottam. In the Bhagavad Gita, he brings about a point as to how the different conceptions that we hold in our life. Right? In our subtle consciousness, we see there are so many things that are hidden. Like, for example, when someone watches a movie, you are there 3 hours in a theater, in a cinema hall. You watch a movie in that theater, there are effects, lights are dim, and sometimes if the scene is very emotional, you start crying, and sometimes if it is very fighting oriented, you feel as if you are the next hero. You get in the mood of Nrsimhadev. If there is some other scene, based on the scenes, you react. Right? And that's why the movie is there to churn emotions out of you. The moment you come out of the theater, reality hits. You understand, tomorrow I have a kind of stand-up meeting. All your movie is gone. Sab bhul jate. But we think we have forgotten. The mind doesn't forget. The mind is like you see camera. When you click photographs, what happens? Let's say you click the photograph back in 2020 during COVID. You have forgotten. Has the phone forgotten? You have forgotten. You don't remember what you did in 2020. Your iPhone very nicely remembers and every day it will give you one drive, memories for today. Right? Every day you get memories. Similarly, Krishna gives us understanding that we may watch and see and have different experiences. We think we've forgotten, but our consciousness is like a camera. It clicks. It's there in the subtle consciousness. And what's the proof? The proof is many times it so happens that 10, 15 years down the line, you see a billboard, let's say. Right? You see a billboard. And that billboard reminds you of something that was there, let's say, 10, 15 years in the past. Like I remember when I was small, in India you have this different ads that come. Right? You have baby soaps and you have different ads that will come. And there's so many ads that now we may have forgotten, but I'm pretty sure those who have been in India, you'll remember. There was this ad that would come about soap. Jaya, Rekha aur Shushma, sabki pasand nirma. Washing powder, Nare Pasi. We don't forget. Remember? For those who are grown up in India, it became so popular. Right? Similarly, we would have this fair and lovely ads. My goodness. They would get someone and it would lead as a Shahrukh Khan or whatever, and then we would put fair and lovely and then he would become very, very fair. And then people would buy fair and lovely thinking they are going to become next Shahrukh Khan. It became such a big hit. Now, those ads are gone. We don't find them right now. But the moment I said it, it clicked. Everybody would remember, maybe not the youth, but those who have been in India, all of us would remember how we think we have forgotten, it is there in our consciousness. We don't forget. So Krishna says, these are the conceptions that we carry in our life. Different interactions, different encounters, different books you read, different web series, movies, you name it. Everything is there in our consciousness. And these experiences are such that we carry it from one life to another life. शरीर छूट जाता है, परिवार संबंध छूट जाता है, घर बार छूट जाता है, गाड़ी छूट जाता है. This is there. From one life to another life, these conceptions are being taken. It's a subtle consciousness, a subtle body. The next life we may have some other body, some other country. The probability is don't go. This is what Krishna says. Just like the air carries the aroma, similarly the living entity carries the consciousness from one body to another body to another body to another body. And this is why you see sometimes you see there's this normal a festival or ritual. You say when a child is small, they keep different things in front of the child, like a book, maybe a scissor, money, different things, right? And the child is expected to crawl, and whatever he picks, एक अनुमान लगाया जाता है कि बच्चा बड़ा होकर क्या बनेगा. If he picks up money, maybe businessman, right? If he picks up a Bhagavad Gita, maybe a sadhu. If he picks up a knife, hopefully a surgeon. Hopefully a surgeon. Chef. But you know what I want to do. We hope that person doesn't become a chef, or he becomes a chef, or he becomes a surgeon, but he doesn't become a daku. Whatever. You understand whatever I understand. Where are these conceptions coming from? It is coming from the past years. Everybody doesn't become a thief. Right? Everybody sitting here doesn't become a murderer. What some people do. Right? Different probabilities are coming from different lifetimes by the association of different personalities. This is what Krishna said, Vayu Gandhani Vashya. Just like wind carries aromas, the living entity carries different conceptions from one body to another body to another body. So Krishna is talking about transmigration. You see one person is there, probably he doesn't exercise. There's a big belly. So Krishna is talking about transmigration. Krishna says the process of transmigration is the living entity acquires material mind and carries different conceptions of life from one body to the next. The analogy is this way: the air carries aromas. Srila Prabhupada here in this verse wouldn't read the translation because we already did. But Srila Prabhupada explains, if you see here, explain that person will surely get a dog body. Why? Because if after getting a human birth, the person is constantly thinking about DOG, instead of GOD, Krishna will say, okay, I respect your choice. I will give you a body where you can become a DOG. So Krishna is not chastising. भगवान दंड नहीं दे रहे, भगवान बोल रहे यदि आप कुत्ता इतना प्रिय है, बिल्ली इतनी प्रिय है, ठीक है, मैं मनुष्य का शरीर किसी और को दे देता हूँ, आप कुत्ता तो दें. So the Supreme Lord is not punishing. He is just accepting the desire that you have. The conception that you have, the desire that you have, the Supreme Lord just accepts. Similarly, if someone develops godly qualities, the person is promoted to the upper planet, and the person is Krishna conscious, the person gets a spiritual body and will go to Krishna Lok or Golok, the place where Bhagavan Shri Krishna is. Based on the person whom you keep thinking about, if you are constantly thinking about a dog, Krishna in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita says, Yam yam bhavi smaran bhavam yajatiyante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sadata bhava. Krishna says, hey Arjun, very simple. Krishna says, my dear Arjun, the philosophy and the principle is, whatever you remember the time of death, Krishna says, you will get that body without fail. This is Krishna's law. Krishna says, whatever you think at the time of departure, you will get that. For many times people say that, oh, if while departing, यदि मरते समय भगवान का स्मरण करना है तो तभी स्मरण कर लेंगे ना, बचपन से भक्ति क्यों करना है? Why do भक्ति from childhood? भक्ति तो मजा करने के लिए है. Let's have fun in youth. Let's have fun in our middle age. जब बूढ़ा हो जाएंगे तब कुछ करने के लिए नहीं है, तब भक्ति करेंगे. There are few flaws in this understanding. The first flaw is there anyone who can put their hand up and say with full confidence when they are going to die? Anyone? Any Parikshit Maharaj here? No one knows it. बाहर निकल कर क्या होगा पता नहीं, right? अगले क्षण अगला मिनट क्या होगा किसी को नहीं पता, right? No one knows. So the understanding that when I will become old, then I will perform bhakti medicine. You don't even know when you are going to become old, right? There's so many examples. You pick up the newspaper, you pick up your phone, you find so many even young people depart early, right? The second flaw in that understanding is, if there is an orange, when you squeeze the orange, what comes out?
Orange juice.
Sure?
Yes, sir.
Not mango juice? No, mango juice should come out, right? You squeeze an orange. Why an orange juice comes out?
It's an orange.
It's an orange. Which means you agree what is there inside will be what is outside when you squeeze. When you squeeze a mango, what comes out?
Mango juice.
No, orange juice, right? Mango juice comes out. Which means again you agree, जो अंदर है वही बाहर निकलेगा when you are squeezed. Similarly, to remember Krishna at the time of death, there has to be Krishna inside you. If you have practiced Krishna consciousness all your life, when death squeezes you, Krishna will come out in form of remembrance, in the form of chanting. But if all your life you have meditated on things that are not connected to Krishna, it can be your cricket, Virat Kohli, or whatever, Ronaldo, FIFA, whatever it is. Whatever you meditate on, you all agree that that is what you will remember when you are in distress. How many of us genuinely call out to Krishna when you are in anxiety? Genuinely, Bhagavan Bachano, how many Draupadis here? How many Gajendras here? Very rare. Yes, there will be some. But most often when you and I are put in distress, what happens? You go to your spouse, you go to your child, maybe go to your employer, maybe you go to whoever it is, right? How many leave everything and go to Krishna and say, "My Lord Bachano"? Very rare. Which means again, when they are put in distress, when there is calamity in our life, most often we don't go to Krishna. So the follow-up point is when there is death. King Kulashekar Alva, one very great devotee from the south. Just like in our Gaudi Sampradaya, we have Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, etc. In Maharashtra, we have Santa Tukaram, Santa Dyaneshwar, etc. Similarly, in the south, we have Alvas, very glorious personalities. Kulashekara, or King Kulashekara, was one Alva, very glorious personality. Kulashekara Alva, he says, Krishna Tvaliya Padapam Gajapanjarantam Adhyaiva me Vishatumana Sarajamsa Prana Prayana Samai Kapavata Pittai Kantha Vido Smaranam Kutaste. Kulashekara Alva says, he writes what happens when the person departs. Krishna Tvaliya Padapam Gajapanjarantam Adhyaiva me Vishatumana Sarajamsa Prana Prayana, जब प्राण निकल रहा है, जब प्राण छूट रहा है शरीर से, प्राण प्रयाण समय, उस समय कफ वात पित्त, कफ वात and pitta, mucus, bile and air that choke your throat. And that's why we see most often, if you've seen a departing person, not scary, but if you've seen a departing person, how many times do we see that person even conscious, able to speak and express his thoughts? Very rare, very rare. Kulashekara Alva says, Prana Prayana Samai Kapha Vata Pitta Kantha Avaro Dhana Vido Smaranam Kuta se Bhagavan, आपका कैसे स्मरण कर पाऊंगा मैं? The time when my throat gets choked, mucus, bile and air, when I can't even remember who I am, I can't recognize any of my family members. When the eyes start to roll, the senses are shutting down. My dear Lord, Smaranam Kuta se आपका स्मरण किस प्रकार कर पाऊंगा मैं? Very difficult to remember Krishna at the time of departure. Which means the point is, you can remember something at a time of calamity and anxiety if you have practiced all your life. How does a Virat Kohli become a Virat Kohli? By practice. You agree he does net practice, that's why he can go to a cricket stadium and bat sixes. How does a Roger Federer become a Roger Federer? Because he does some practice. And that's why he goes to a court and starts winning Grand Slams. How does Ronaldo and Messi become Ronaldo and Messi? Because they do some practice. That is why when the real stadium are there, when people are watching, they can perform when others cannot. Why? What separates them? It is the practice without stopping. Similarly, these are the good qualities that we find in people. They are able to remember and perform things at the stage where there is highest anxiety. Billions of people watching. Similarly, for the person to remember Krishna, to remember Bhagavan, one has to practice all this. So when people say, oh, when I will become old, I will do it. Wait a minute, you don't know whether you will become old. Second, even if you become old, if the senses are not working properly, how will we even perform bhakti? Right? Or to perform bhakti, eyes should be working, ears should be working, hands, legs, senses should be working. Now that our senses are working fine, now that we are here in bhakti, now that we don't have problem, now is the time. We should not delay. Everything else can be delayed, not Krishna consciousness. In our life, we see we prioritize everything. We prioritize family, we prioritize our job, we prioritize our vacations, we prioritize our car, our house, everything. But when it comes to bhakti, we keep it later. But Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita that the purpose of human existence, the purpose of human life is to perform Krishna consciousness. And in Kali Yuga, Krishna consciousness means chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So at this point, Krishna is explaining how the person goes from one body to another body. Right? And we have seen that there is one very famous saying that almost all of India say, especially when you ask them, do you know Bhagavad Gita? People will say yes. Bhagavad Gita में क्या पता है? They will say one statement. कर्मण्यवाधिकास्ते, which means कर्म करते जाओ, फल की चिंता मत करो. Very famous. We have heard it many times. Now we have all heard and we all know this fact that it is our activities or our karma that decides our next birth. Right? It's an important element. Like we say, based on the seed that you sow, you get a similar fruit. If you sow an orange seed, you are going to get a guava tree, right? Which tree you will get? Guava tree.
Or
Sure? If you sow an apple seed, you are going to get an orange tree. Which tree?
apple.
Which means what is the understanding?
Whatever you sow, you will get.
Yeah, we all know this. The seed that you sow, फल में उसी प्रकार प्राप्त करोगे. The same thing is applicable in our day-to-day life. In the next 30 minutes that we have, I want to touch upon a point that is very often spoken about, this karma. How this karma works. What are the different forms of karma, and so on and so forth. Make sense? Are we ready?
Yep.
No?
Yes.
Yes.
He
That's it. Okay, let's start. So the Shastra explains, please read. Apurnasya
Apurnasya
Nijapurta
Artha
Cheshta Karma iti.
Cheshta Karma iti.
Srila Jiva Goswami in his Bhagat Sandarbha defines what is karma, what is the cause. He says Purna means
Complete.
to complete. Apurna
Incomplete.
Apurnasya Nijapurta Artha Cheshta Karma iti. When there is a longing or a desire to complete something, there is some incompleteness, and to make it complete, you do some activity. Right? Karma is the striving of an incomplete being towards its fulfillment. Why do you do any activity? Because there is some incompleteness. Right? Any activity that you see. Why do you get up from here to go to the Prasad hall? To honor Prasad. There is some incompleteness. Stomach is incomplete. The stomach is saying, बहुत कथा सुन लिया थोड़ा प्रसाद भी खा ले. So you get up and you go. Which means, in layman's language, karma is the cause is apurna se nijapurta artha cheshta karma iti. Where there is incompleteness, whatever you do to complete it is karma. Right? So, Jiva Goswami is asking the question, why does the jiva act? Which means, why does the living entity act? There is a sense of incompleteness. Apurnata. जीवन में अपूर्णता है, उसे पूर्ण करने के लिए हम कार्य करते हैं. Correct? Now, what is the effect? Baladev Vidyabhushan, in his Gita Bhushan, which is his commentary to the Bhagavad Gita that Prabhupada wrote, he writes, please repeat, Pum Prayatna
Nispadhyam
Adrishtari Shabda Vachyam Karma. He says, karma is that produced by human effort, denoted by terms like adrishta, the unseen potency. Right? Karma is human effort. All of us are humans. Right? Whatever activity we are doing is a human effort. Right? What is Jiva Goswami saying? Jiva Goswami says karma is when there is incompleteness, whatever activity you are doing to complete it. That is karma, that is the cause. The effect is Pum Prayatam Nispadhyam Adrishtari Shabda Vachyam Karma. He says karma is that produced by human effort, denoted by terms like adrishta, the unseen potency, which means when you do activities, most often we don't see the results right away. Right? Most often when you do activities, you don't see the results right away. So what are the results? They are adrishta. Dikhai. Drishta means to see. Adrishta means that which you cannot see, but पता है एक समय पे फिर से आने वाला है. Adrishta. I'll give you an example. You had in the Mahabharata refinement, we have the father of the Kauravas. Who's the father of the Kauravas? Dhritarashtra. Now Dhritarashtra was born blind. Right? Dhritarashtra was born blind. The Shastra explains Dhritarashtra was born blind because 100 lifetimes in the past, Dhritarashtra had a habit. What was the habit? When ants should crawl on the floor, Dhritarashtra would take a blade of grass and poke their eye. And he would get sadistic pleasure out of it. Maja aata. You've seen people in this world also, mosquitoes would be there for no reason. The mosquito may not be in and around you, but people get sadistic pleasure. I've seen in India you have those nets, mosquitoes that's electric. What do you call it?
Racket.
Racket. They think they are the next Now, do we see the reaction right away? Does the mosquito bring his father and say, "Isko badal, isko maar do"? Does the mosquito say that? No. Do you see the reaction right away? No. So it's adrishta. But you know at some point it is going to come back because you have killed someone. Krishna doesn't forgive. Just because the mosquito is small doesn't mean we have a license to kill the mosquito. Just because the cockroach cannot see anything doesn't mean we can stand on the cockroach. It will come back. So there, the effect is adrishta. You won't see it right away. It will come back. Just like Dhritarashtra. 100 lifetimes in the past, he would poke the eye of the ant. Maja. After 100 lifetimes, he got a karmic reaction from it, the effect. He couldn't see it. But after 100 lifetimes, he realized it. So when he did the activity, what was the result? What was the fruit? Adrishta. He could not see it. So Jiva Goswami and Baladev Vidyabhushan, they describe the cause and effect. Jiva Goswami says, what is the cause? Karma is the striving of an incomplete being to fulfill. Whenever we feel incomplete, whatever activity we do, to complete it is the cause. And then the effect is karma that is produced by human effort. We are all humans. It's a human effort denoted by terms like adrishta, the unseen potency. So we see that Shastra is explaining the root cause of the bondage. Because in this verse we see what is Krishna saying? The person carries conceptions and goes from one body to another body just like the wind carries aroma. So Krishna explains the root cause of all of that is ahankar or false ego. Identifying the body. Right? What is this?
Phone.
iPhone. When we have something like this, what is it? Laptop. You call it Mac. You have iPad. You have iPhone. In the earlier days, we had iPod and iPad. All of that you pay. Right? People know what an iPhone is. People know what an iPad is. People know what an iPod is. But you ask the person, who are you? They will be clueless. People identify themselves as their designation. I am the CEO of the company. I am the principal of a school. I own this car. I own that, etc. But we all understand that these designations are not permanent. Someone may be a CEO for a certain amount of years, but after the company collapses or dissolves over years, what then becomes our identification? Is our identification only that we are a husband or we are a mother? What happens when that identification breaks? What happens when one of the persons in the family with whom we identified is no longer in existence? Identity means something that is permanent. It was, is, and will always be permanent. Identity cannot change. Houses can change, cars can change. Identity should ideally be permanent. And it is permanent. Krishna the Gita explains the real identity of every living entity is Jivera Swarupavai Nityera Krishna Das. The real identity of every living person is eternally to be situated as a loving servant of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. That's the eternal identity. But what happens when we come to this world, we get clouded by the different conceptions that we have carried from lifetimes. And now we start identifying as the body. We start identifying as the body. Let's do a small exercise. Please take your index finger. It's almost like I feel I'm in school. I'm the teacher and all students. Okay, take your index finger. Point towards your nose. Everyone got it? Point towards your eyes. Nice, everyone got it. Great. Point towards your ears. Wonderful. Everyone got it. Very good. Point towards your head. Everyone got it. Amazing. Point towards yourself. Let's do it once again. Point towards your nose. Okay. Point towards your eyes. Okay. Very nice. Very good. Point towards your ears. Okay. Point towards your head. We are not pointing over there. Point towards your head. Okay. Point towards your body. There is some confusion. Nose, eyes, ears, everyone are 100. Now there is some confusion. Okay, point towards your body. Some are doing here, some are doing here, some are doing here. Okay, now point towards yourself. You understand there is something off here? When we say eyes, when we say eyes, when we say nose, and we say ears, no one had any confusion. We all got it bang on. The moment we said body, we did like this. When I say point towards yourself, we are going to do like this. So my follow-up question is: are you in the body? Are you in the body? How many think that they are the body? You can be honest. How many think you are the body? कितने को ऐसा लगता है कि हम शरीर हैं?
Before reading Bhagavad Gita, it was the conception, but after reading it's not.
Yes. He is saying before Krishna consciousness, I was understanding. After Krishna consciousness, that's not understanding. When you say point to the body, you did like this. When I say point to yourself, you still doing this way, right? Okay. But are we the body? We are not the body. So then why are we pointing with this? You accept your okay. Let's go into more detail. Why are we not the body? We are not the body from the fact that if you are the body, when the person departs, the person is still there, the body is still there. But what do we say? Till the time the person was alive, we say Mr. X. Mr. X was alive. I will not take any names. I remember I was in one congregation, I was giving this example, and I took a name. Interestingly, वो नाम तो व्यक्ति और इसमें बैठा था. I said one of I said imagine so and so person has just departed, and the audience started laughing. Then I realized my वो नाम तो व्यक्ति बैठा है, so I just keep it as Mr. X. Imagine Mr. X has departed. The moment the person departs, what do you say?
The body.
Body. Immediately it changes body. Immediately it's body को याद रखना body का अंतिम संस्कार करना body को immediately changes. But if you are the body, well, the body is still there. The eyes is still there, the nose is still there, the ears is still there, the head is there, the hair debatable, other things are still there. Which means we agree to the fact that if we think we are the body, then the person when the person departs, the body is still there. But that body means nothing. What do you say? Mr. X passed away. Who passed away? The body was still there. Which means there is someone beyond the body who was passed away. That is our identity. That is the soul. That is the Atma. This is Krishna's Bhagavad Gita teaching 101. Krishna starts with this very basic understanding that, my dear brothers and sisters, you are not a body. You are a spirit soul who is there in a material body. A green kurta. Am I a green kurta? I am not a green kurta. Right? Tomorrow I can wear a red kurta. Would I become a red kurta? No. We all agree to the fact that kurta can change. I am a person inside. Similarly, the body that is there is our clothing. Krishna explains in the second chapter. Okay? The body is the clothing. We are the person inside. But till the time we identify ourselves as the body, fundamental identity crisis is there. For example, in school, when you have a math problem, imagine you have a problem to solve. And the first line itself, you take an assumption that is wrong. After that, if you solve the whole math problem, will you get the answer right? No. Why? Because in the start, you made a mistake. The fundamentals were wrong. Similarly, whatever happens after is secondary. Where there is an identity crisis of identifying with the body and not realizing that we are a spirit soul, the problem arises there. Krishna speaks the Bhagavad Gita to dispel that understanding, to dispel that darkness away with it. You are not the body. You are a spirit soul that eternally belongs to me, Krishna says. Not me, but Krishna. So the reason for bondage first is identifying as the body. Now because we identify as the body, there is incompleteness. Because we identify as the body, there is a desire of incompleteness which we want to complete, which we do actions to complete. Because there is incompleteness, we do cheshta. In Hindi, we say that cheshta karma, which means you strive to complete it. And because you strive to complete the apurnata, incompleteness, you get a result out of it. But that result is adrishya. Sometimes we see it, a lot of times we don't see what the result is, what the fruit is. Right? It's adrishya which will come in the future. Right? So Krishna explains the reason of bondage is ahankara, identified as the body. Because we identify as the body, there is incompleteness. To complete that incompleteness, we do cheshta, we do activities, we strive, and because we strive, we get a result. That result may be great or it can be adrishya in the future, which is unseen. Make sense? Now we go forward. Shastra explains there are three types of karma. There are three types of karma. Up until this time, we have not karma. Now Shastra goes deeper. Three prakar ki karma, and this will answer many of the questions we have. There is a famous question that keeps coming up again and again. Why do bad things happen to good people? अरे वो व्यक्ति इतना अच्छा था, इतना अच्छा व्यक्ति था, किसी का कुछ गलत नहीं किया, उसके साथ देखो, और जो बुरा है उसके साथ अच्छा क्यों होता है? So many examples we see around, right, of this pattern. For that, first of all, we have to understand how karma works and what are the three types of karma. Please repeat. The first form of karma is sanchit karma.
Sanchit karma.
Sanchit karma essentially is whatever activities, please hear this carefully. Sanchit karma is whatever activities you have done in so many past lifetimes. Those activities are there in the form of seed. Beej ke taur par hai. They are there in the seed form. Right? Of the millions and billions of lifetimes you have taken, in every life you have done different activities that should yield a karmic reaction. Those activities are like seed. And that seed, मान लीजिए एक बड़ा godown है. There is a big storehouse. Those seed of your activities of so many past lifetimes are stored there. Right? They are all stored there of your different past lives. That is sanchit karma. Now, there is second. Second is called as prarabdha karma. Please repeat. Prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma essentially is when you take a birth in this lifetime. Prarabdha karma essentially is in this lifetime, whenever you take birth, from the sanchit karma that is there, which means whatever is there in seed format, of little of punya and little of pap is taken from that seed. Right? पिछले जन्म में, कई सारे पिछले जन्मों में, we have done many good activities, we have done many bad activities. Correct? We have not just done good, we have done bad also. That good and bad which is there in seed format, which is sanchit karma. When you take birth in this world, a little of good and little of bad is taken together, and that becomes your prarabdha. What is prarabdha? जो इस जन्म में भुगतते हैं. In this life, whatever we face, it is not necessarily coming from this life. What is our understanding? वाले व्यक्ति इतना अच्छा था, उसके साथ क्यों हुआ? अच्छा इस जन्म में था, but जब वो पैदा हुआ, karma was already decided. From the time of conception, from the time he comes out to this world crying, man, his prarabdha was decided. What good he is going to get, what bad he is going to get was everything decided. Why? Because prarabdha karma is that. From the sanchit, थोड़ा पुण्य, थोड़ा पाप लेकर, your life gets decided. That is prarabdha. So the first understanding is when people say, oh, व्यक्ति तो बहुत अच्छा था, हाँ व्यक्ति अच्छा था, इस जन्म में अच्छा था, पिछले 100,000 जन्मों में क्या किया मैं नहीं पता. So that is second. What was the first one? Sanchit karma. Second? Prarabdha. Third is called, please repeat, kriyamana karma.
Kriyamana karma.
Kriyamana means observe kar rahe. Now that you are doing. Now that you are doing, do you do good? Yes. Do you also do bad? Yes. We all do right. We do good, we do bad. If you are not doing any bad, then this is your last life. But if you are doing bad, there is kriyamana. We do good activities, we do bad. Bad necessarily doesn't mean breaking regulatory principles. There can be different degrees of that, right? Like for example, if you owe someone money and you are not giving it, क्रियमाण कर्म. अब होता ही है ना, all three are connected. What happens? In this lifetime, be serious. In this lifetime, whatever you are doing is kriyamana, good and bad, right? Now, this good and bad, you will not get reaction immediately. Just like Dhritarashtra did not get his reaction immediately. He poked the eye, that was kriyamana karma. Okay? That was kriyamana karma. But what happens? This kriyamana karma, whatever you do now, that becomes sanchit karma. अब ये घोड़ा में स्टोर हो गया. अब जो कार्य करेंगे अब नहीं मिलेगा. Why? Because the प्रारब्ध is already decided. इस जन्म में जो भुगतना है ये डिसाइड हो चुका है. अब जो कार्य करेंगे ये घोड़ा में चला जाएगा. अब 3 जन्मों के बाद ये आएगा. अब मान लीजिए कि इस जन्म में if you had to give someone $10,000 and you knew it and you still did not give, this becomes your kriyamana bad karma. Okay, kriyamana. Now this will go in your sanchit karma. अब कई जन्मों के बाद after many lifetimes that will come back as prarabdha, and one lifetime you will face where even though you may be good in that lifetime, you will be cheated of the exact $10,000. Krishna, my dear devotees, doesn't make a mistake. Krishna doesn't make a mistake. You and I forget. Krishna doesn't forget. Karma is very clear the way it works. So, what you're doing right now is kriyamana. This kriyamana, good or bad, will become your sanchit. That from that sanchit, good and bad, in one lifetime, thoda liya jayega, thoda good, thoda bad, they will come together. That will become your prarabdha. Sanchit karma. The beginningless storehouse of unmanifested reaction. इसका फल अब तक मिला नहीं है. कार्य किया है, फल अब तक मिला नहीं. So, you see here, lot of seeds are there, good and bad. Then is prarabdha, the activated seeds, which determines your current life conditions like jati, your birth, your ayu, lifespan, and your bhoga, pain, pleasure. Right? Why is it that Anant Ambani is born as Mukesh Ambani's son? Why is it that we are not born as Mukesh Ambani's son and only Anant Ambani was born? Why is it that we are born in Lynnwood or Hyderabad or whatever, and he is a multi-millionaire? It's not accident. It's not accident. It's not coincidence. Krishna doesn't do an X1 lottery. Bichara kiska naam aa gayi isko de dete. It's not random. Sanchit karma is of past lives. Right? Prarabdha is now. And these 3 things you see, we don't have control over these 3 things. Did anyone have control over their jati, birth? हमें यही मम्मी पापा चाहिए. Is there anyone who said, my dear Lord, I will not take birth if I don't get this mummy papa? Anyone? Did we even have a choice of selecting where we want to be born? You could select. Could anyone say कि नहीं अभी पिछले जन्म ऑस्ट्रेलिया में जन्म लिया अब लिनवुड में जन्म लिया? Did anyone have a choice? No, no one had a choice. There is no choice of jati, birth. It is predetermined. Second, lifespan. Anyone has any control over lifespan? When you are going to die, anyone has any control? Third, pain and pleasure. Sukh or dukh. Do we have any control over our hand? Overnight things change. Overnight we get happiness. Overnight we get distress. Right? So many times we have seen things unexpectedly happen. This is prarabdha. These 3 dear devotees are decided, and there is nothing much we can do about it. Is there anyone who can change their jati? No. Is there anyone who can change their ayu? Is there anyone who can change their bhoga, pain and pleasure? Right? Kriyamana is your fresh karma. So if you see a farmer, he's bowing seeds, he has a lot of seeds, he's taking a few seeds and he's bowing, and bowing it will become your crops. So sanchit, prarabdha, kriyamana. Any doubts here? Clear? What the 3 karmas are? Now this answers the question of why do bad things happen to good people. Good people or good person, sure enough, is in this life. But we don't know what the sanchit karma is. 100 lifetimes in the past, अपना ही नहीं पता उसका क्या पता होगा. So little good and little bad gets taken, and then that becomes your prarabdha, which means is sanchit in our hand? No. क्योंकि पहले का हो गया. Now we can change. Right? Is prarabdha in our hand? Is kriyamana in our hand? This is in our hand. पहला दो छोड़ दीजिए, हमारे हाथ में नहीं है, कुछ नहीं कर सकते. जो पहला किया, we can't do anything about it. What you are doing now, this you have control, kriyamana. Now if we have control over this, we should make sure that we are going the right speech, or we are sowing the right speech. This is English. Instead of sowing, I said going. Speech बोला बोलते हैं. This is English. It's over. What we do to this we have control, right? अब ये अगर सही करेंगे, if we do this right, that is going to become our sanchit, and that will become prarabdha. So now what we are doing this we have control. So sanchit karma, millions of seeds from every action across lifetimes lie dormant. Experience alone cannot empty this warehouse, as we constantly plan to. अर्थात केवल भूगर्भ से कम नहीं होगा. There is a big storehouse, right? Even if we experience the karmic reaction, we are still giving more to that storehouse. We are still doing more kriyamana. We are giving more to the storehouse. So just experience will not destroy that warehouse or storehouse or godown or whatever you say. Krishna explains in the Gita, Jnana agni sarva karmani bhasma kurute tatha. As fire turns wood to ashes, the fire of knowledge burns all karmic reactions to ashes. अपने बलबूते को नहीं होगा. When we understand this, we understand as to how dependent we are on the mercy of Krishna. Because there is nothing in our hand, there is nothing much. If someone is not depending on the mercy of Krishna, and the kriyamana is also bad, then there is practically no way the person can exit Janma Mrityu Jara. Because sanchit will come back, prarabdha भुगतना पड़ेगा, भक्ति नहीं कर रहा है, अगर आगे पुनर्वशी को भाव, the cycle will continue. Cycle simply continues. So sanchit karma is our millions of seeds from every action, every single action that we do gets stored in the storehouse. There is prarabdha. Prarabdha karma means three things cannot be changed, as we said. Your jati, your birth or family, किस कुल में जन्म लेना है. Second, your lifespan, your ayu. Third, your bhog, your pleasure and pain. No one has control. Everything is decided. Everything is practically decided, and बस भुगतना पड़ता है. Right? The example is given like that of a fan. You see, there is a fan. The fan may be moving very fast, but when we turn off the switch, what happens? Does the fan stop immediately? What happens?
Close door.
घूमते रहता है, and slowly it will stop. Similarly, Shastra gives the example: switching off the fan. This action is a kriyamana action. If someone is practicing Krishna consciousness, let's say, then that person is turning off all the past karmic reactions. But still, just like the fan doesn't stop all by itself, immediately nahi hoga, it moves. Similarly, even if the person is practicing Krishna consciousness and is placing the good seed of kriyamana karma or the good seed of switching the fan, still, because the prarabdha is already decided, we see even devotees face problems in their life. Being a devotee doesn't mean you can get away from prarabdha. Even if someone becomes a devotee, prarabdha will still be there. Prarabdha will still be there. What is the example? The best example is Prahlad Maharaj was born in a family of demons. His father was a demon. The whole Purakul, Asuro ka kul tha. Prahlad Maharaj was born in a family of demons. Prahlad. Right? He was born in a family of demons. But now we don't know this example. We will come to this example later. But the point here is, even Prahlad was born in a family of demons, and he could not have any control over his jati. Did he have any control over his jati? No. He could not change. So even Prahlad, who was a Mahajan, had to face his prarabdha. So first was Sanchit, second was prarabdha. Third is Kriyamana, whatever we are doing now. Right? The only thing, as we said, that we have in our control is Kriyamana. When we speak harsh words or anger, etc., in the future there is going to be a karmic reaction of that. If we speak rudely, we speak harshly to someone, that person may be quiet. At some point, we will see some other person in some lifetime will speak rudely and harshly in matters. It is going to come. And similarly, if there is chanting in Vaishnava Seva, this deposits auspicious impressions, Shubh Samskara, which draws the soul closer to Krishna automatically. So between the three forms of karma, there is only one that you and I have control over. That is Kriyamana. Okay, let's do a quick recap. What are the three types? Sanchit, third, Kriyamana. Who can tell me what is Sanchit? Storehouse. Storehouse of all good qualities.
Bad and good bad.
Good and bad qualities. Okay. What is Prarabdha? What we are born in this life. जो पाप और पुण्य, जो संचित से पाप और पुण्य लेकर जो तड़का मिलता है ना जीवन में,
हिसाब किताब,
very good. हिसाब किताब. Sometimes we need Hindi words to understand. हिसाब किताब. तो जीवन में बस चाटा लगता है कभी-कभी. That is prarabdha. Three things of prarabdha are decided. What are the three things? Jati means your bank balance.
Birth.
Jati means
Birth.
birth. Second, Ayu means
Lifestyle.
And third, Bhoga means prasad.
Enjoyment.
Bhoga means
experience,
Enjoyment.
good and bad experience.
What is in our control?
Kriyamana.
The other two are not in our control. But hold on. At the end, our definitions are going to change. So hold on. Till now, what is in our control? Kriyamana. And prarabdha cannot be changed. Correct? Remember this, prarabdha cannot be changed. At the end, remember this. Okay. Now, how does these things work? You have karma, you do an action, which is deliberate action of the body, mind, or speech, etc. We gave the example of money, receiving a partner for profit. When we do an action, there is karma, which is a deposit. The invisible potency, that is adrishya, reinforces tendencies and travels across both. Whatever we do now, दिखाई नहीं, उसका फल दिखाई नहीं देता, but I, at some point, it is going to come by because we can't see it now. It is adrishya. And third is karma vipak. What is it? Karma vipak, which means the fruit. Sometimes we get nice mango fruit in our life. Sometimes neem fruit. कभी-कभी जीवन में बहुत मधुरता मिलती है. Things are all happening according to plan, and sometimes things don't happen according to plan. That is karma vipak. The ripened result delivered in future life. The action, the deposit, and the fruit. Okay. Now we see in the Gita, Krishna is saying in the 4th chapter, Gahana Karmano Dati. He says the path of karma is very difficult to understand. And we can see last 1 hour we are discussing this. Krishna is saying in the 4th chapter, कर्म का जो मार्ग है जान पाना बड़ा कठिन है. It is a little difficult. So we see here karma, which is your prescribed action. For example, Kshatriya is defending the innocent. That is his karma. That is the activity that he is doing. Vikarma is जो करना नहीं चाहिए, जो गलत है. That is vikarma. Killing out of greed, anger, or whatever. This is his example. Third, that Krishna talks about, that ideally we should be striving for is akarma. Why? Because when you do karma, you get result. Correct? You do vikarma, you still get result. अब result को भोगने के लिए फिर से मनुष्य जीवन प्राप्त करना पड़ेगा. Otherwise, how will you get result? Right? Get my point? If you do karma, let's say good activity, Okay? You do good philanthropy activity. बहुत दान पुण्य की चैरिटी दिए करें. अब इसका फल प्राप्त करने के लिए मनुष्य जीवन तो प्राप्त करना पड़ेगा ना. Otherwise, how will you get the fruit? That's point number one. Let's say you do bad to others. अब इसका फल प्राप्त करने के लिए मनुष्य जीवन प्राप्त करना पड़ेगा. Which means whether you do good or bad, you have to reap the benefit. To reap the benefit, you have to take another human birth. Krishna says our principle is little different. Our principle is we don't want to take a birth. Now how to do it? You do good, you will take a birth. You do bad, you still take a birth. Punarapi Jaranam, Punarapi Maranam, it is still going to happen. Krishna in the 4th chapter of the Gita introduces a principle called as, please repeat, akarma.
Akarma.
What is akarma? Akarma is devotional activity. Devotional activities are such, you reap the benefit, but to reap the benefit, you don't require a material body, you need a spiritual body. Which means you break the cycle of birth and death and go back to Krishna. This is why devotional activity Prabhupada stresses so much in Bhagavad Gita. This devotional activity is akarma. Because if you just do good, it's good. We are not against doing good. अच्छा करना चाहिए, very good. But उसे भोगने के लिए फिर से मनुष्य जीवन प्राप्त करना है. और यदि बुरा किए, उसे भोगने के लिए फिर से मनुष्य जीवन प्राप्त करना है. Our principle is we don't want to take another material birth. We want to go back to God and stop the cycle of birth and death. No more ABCD, no more I, U, nothing. No more 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. We want to go back to Krishna. Going back to Krishna means we have to go beyond karma and vikarma. We start doing akarma. Akarma is devotional activities, or what we call as seva, chanting, hearing, serving the Vaishnavas, honoring Prasadam, etc. Now these yield the fruit that cannot be experienced by the material body but the spiritual body, which means the person has to take a spiritual body, which essentially means the person breaks the cycle of birth and death. Make sense? Any question here? Karma, vikarma, and our principle is akarma. This is Bhagavad Gita. The 4th chapter we should explain. Actions producing no karmic bondage. For example, Arjuna fighting Kurukshetra after full surrender. Arjuna had this question, right? That my dear Krishna, if I kill, I will recover in creation. And Krishna says, you're doing it under my sanction. I want you to do it. Even if you don't do it, Arjuna, they are already dead. Why? Because I have desired it. I have desired it. Similarly, our principle is we do action producing no karmic bondage, that is a karma. So now, I want to ask you another question. Where does akarma fit in the 3 types of karma that we did? Where do you think it should ideally be? Akarma means?
Kriyamana.
Can we put akarma in sanchit? No, हो गया ना, हो गया. Can you put akarma in prarabdha जो भुगत रहे हैं? But can you do right now? Devotional activity you can do right now. You can pick a mala and chant. You can hear katha. This is kriyamana. This is akarma and this is kriyamana. Now this fruit that you get of hearing this Krishna katha, of being in the association of devotees, this cannot be compared to getting a material body. For this, the resultant is getting a spiritual body where eternally you can hear about Krishna. This is Bhagavad Gita's principle. Not just doing good or bad. Yes, we have to do good. Yes, do good philosophy activities. But we should also go beyond just doing good of doing akarma. Make sense? Okay. So akarma, when the living entity chooses to serve Krishna, it is called akarma or devotional service. This is Prabhupada's forward, Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter. Akarma frees one from the cycle of birth and death and awards him supreme destination. Where is this connected? This is connected to Kriyamana. Ab jo kar rahe hain. Right? Ha. So now we are talking about karma. And what did we say? Sanchit is not in our hand. Prarabdha not in our hand. Kriyamana is in our hand. Prarabdha, 3 things are decided. What are the 3 things? Jati, Ayu and Bhoga. But what did we say? Prarabdha is bhugat nahi padega. There is nothing we can do about it. Right? This is where Bhagavan comes into the picture. There is someone who can control these things. You and I cannot. There is someone who can control. Krishna in the Gita says, Karmana Daiva Nitraya. Karma cannot be controlled. Krishna says, but I can control it. Krishna says, I have the power. Daiva Nitraya. If I want, Krishna says, I can control it. And Bhagavan can do it. If Bhagavan wants, he can change your jati, he can change your ayu, and he can change your kula, and he can change your bhog. What is the example? Prahlad Maharaj. Now, where was Prahlad born? In a family of demons. But Karmana Daiva Netrena. Krishna arranged such that Narad Muni walked into the life of Gaya. Narad Muni did not walk into the life of Hiranyakashipu. Narad Muni came and spoke Krishna Katha to Kayadu in the womb of Prahlad, even though he was born in a family of demons. But Krishna tweaked the prarabdha. Krishna changed the prarabdha where, even though he was born in a family of demons, Karmana Daiva Netrena, Krishna said, he will become a devotee. If the Supreme Lord wants, even the prarabdha can be changed. जो इस जन्म में भुगतना है, भगवान यदि चाहे तो वो भी बदल सकते हैं. इसीलिए, this is what time and again we say, whatever it is, go to Krishna, pray to Krishna. Why? Because संसार में रोकर कुछ होने नहीं वाला. If you cry in front of people, they'll say, oh, and then they will go and have Chinese whisper and tell four more people. They will not solve your problem. They may or may not. But if you pray to Krishna, Krishna can change. Krishna can change. If we see, when Prahlad was there, he was sitting on the lap of Holika and he was supposed to be burned. According to any material calculation, he should have been burned. But what did Krishna do? Karmana Daiva Netrena. Bhagavan बोले, हम चाहते हैं कि बच्चा बच जाए. Krishna wanted to protect him. Prahlad was tried, Hiranyakashipu tried so many things, so many ways to kill Prahlad. Every time Krishna protected him. Which means if the Lord wants, even your prarabdha can be tweaked. Even prarabdha can be changed. But there is again a condition to that. The condition is most often prarabdha is not changed, even for devotees. Most often, whatever is destined to experience in this life will come in some shape or form. But for those who are very, very advanced, those who are very sold out to the Supreme Lord, for such exceptional cases, Krishna will tweak it. It's not a generic principle, but for very some special cases, Krishna will change the prarabdha. Karma operates like an automatic law of nature, but the Lord is above his own laws. Daiva supersedes karma entirely for devotees. What is karma? Our past action. Prahlad, born to an Asura family, should not possess any pure devotion. Right? It's very logical. He is born in a demonic family. But Daiva, a Bhagavan intervened, Supreme Lord intervened, Nrsimhadev intervened, and he arranged for Narad Muni to instruct his mother. And devotion entered the home, and Prahlad became a Mahajan. Prahlad became a Mahajan. So, Srila Sanatana Goswami says that this prarabdha is such. Our jati, our ayu and bhoga in most cases cannot be changed. But if the Krishna wants, यदि भगवान की इच्छा है, भगवान बदल सकते हैं. So Sanatana Goswami says, इच्छा वसात पाप उपसक नाम क्षीयते भोगोन्मुखम अप्य अनुस्मात् प्रारब्ध मात्रम भवति तरेशम कर्मा विशिष्टम तद अवश्य भोग्यम. By the Lord's will, even the sins of his devotees, even those already turned towards fruition. What is that? Prarabdha. What is prarabdha? From a sanchit, something is taken and up it's fructified. And that's what you are facing in this lifetime. Sanatana Goswami says in Bhagavatam, by the Lord's will, Bhagavan ki ichha yadi ichha vasa. Look at the first word. Ichha vasa. Yadi Bhagavan ki ichha hai, papam upasaka nama shiyate, even that papa, that sinful reaction, जो भुगतना है, निश्चित हो गया है कि भुगतना पड़ेगा. Ichavasa, if the Lord wants, He can even destroy that for His devotees. For others, only prarabdha remains, and that must inevitably be experienced. So, which means for a devotee, the sanchit we don't have control. The kriyamana we have control. What we are doing now. Now, if you do Krishna conscious activities with utmost sincerity, this will become our sanchit karma. Good activities. But where is it? We are doing akarma. And akarma means no material body. No sanchit. Correct. So which means what activities we are doing now will ideally not be reciprocated to a material body. It should be reciprocated to a spiritual body. Which means even after we become a devotee, prarabdha will be there, suffering will be there. We are not saying that after becoming a devotee, life will be hale and hearty. Sirf maja nahi hoga na. Suffering will be there. But if Krishna wants, Krishna Shastra explains through the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the Kriyamana that we are doing, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra destroys the whole sanchit karma. मान लीजिए यदि कोई माला जप रहा है, it is equivalent to going to the sanchit karma, go down and आग लगा. जब पूरा घोड़ा आग लग जाता है, जब पूरा संचित भस्म हो गया, ना भगवान का नाम जपना है, अर्थात जो संचित कर्म है उसे भस्म कर देना. When your sanchit is completely destroyed, what prarabdha will you have? Which means that will be your last life. If in this life you are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra sincerely, your sanchit is destroyed. Which means what is left? Only prarabdha is left. What is Sanatana Goswami saying in the last line? For others, only prarabdha remains. And that must inevitably be experienced, which is you and I. In examples where people are like Prabhu very exalted, Krishna will change the prarabdha also. This is why we see even after person has become devotees, challenges may be there, but it may be the last life of challenges. Why? Because your holy name has burnt the storehouse of Sanchit Karma. But for anyone else, it is Purna Picharanam. Their activities will become Sanchit, Sanchit becomes Prarabdha, then again they will Sanchit, and they take lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes. And it becomes an unending cycle. Which also means only if you do akarma, devotional service, can someone guarantee this being the last life and getting passion. Other than devotional service, there is no other way, no other way, no other way of ending the repeated cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. This is our, we take this. This is, we join Krishna consciousness, we take join Ishwar for this. It's an internal shift. दो प्रकार के लोग हैं. हाथ में पुष्प है. There is a flower in the hand. One person is offering flower to me, other thinking if I offer flower, अच्छा कर्म प्राप्त होगा. I will be good in the future. Right? Another is offering flower to the Lord, thinking, my dear Lord, this is for you. I don't want anything in return. If someone offers flower, the hand one that is there, it is karma. Why? Because I am performing a ritual to gain merit. सुख शांति घर आवे बन जाए जगदीश हरे. My dear Lord, I am offering flower. घर में सब अच्छा होना चाहिए, परिवार संतुष्ट होने चाहिए, गाड़ी बंगला बैंक बैलेंस सब होना चाहिए. Good. But now to experience that you need a material body. So it is I am shadow. And second is you are doing akarma, where you are doing service to the Supreme Lord, where there is no material reaction, but the reaction is you get a spiritual body to experience or to have the fruit of your devotional service. These flowers belong to him anyway, and I am simply returning them. So there is no binding. Krishna says this in the 9th chapter, right? Yad koroshi yadashnasi, yad johoshi dadasi, yad tapasya kaunte purushim madatarana. Whatever you are doing, whatever your actions are, hey Arjun, offer it as a service unto him. So in this way, the goal of spiritual life is not simply to cultivate better karma. Golden chains bind just as tightly as the iron goes. ये अच्छे कर्म करते थे, so that is their golden chains. They are still going to bind you in this world, and if you are anyway going to do bad, they are anyway going to bind you. So our principle is, by moving from ahankar, false ego, to pure bhakti, we transcend spiritual science about eternal, unconditioned relationship with Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes, any questions?
Prabhu, just like along with a karma, like if not doing say 24 hours of karma, right? There are like fixed, we are doing say some physical activity and we are doing normal activity. So how does that work? Is it like still our where also is
Krishna is our, that's why Krishna is our Brahman. Krishna is complete service. So essentially, for those who are concerned with Brahman and their only lives, motives, emotions are concerned with Krishna, they will be Krishna. But those who are juggling will still have to be Krishna.
this karma will be managed?
100%. 100%. That's what Krishna says in the second chapter. Neha Vikramasosti Prativaya Vidyate Sultope Sultose Daya Mato. Whatever devotion service that devotees are done, it will get carried. So, it will not be finished. You will definitely be in a better position itself. Yeah? But one will not go directly back on it. For someone to go back on that in one lifetime, Krishna says, Sarva Dharma Pratyeksham, Mam Ekam. That becomes a very high level of sadhana. But there are people who do that. There are so many examples. And one misconception is only brahmacharis and sannyasis can do it, grahastas cannot, which is not true. Even grahastas can get Krishna in one lifetime. We have so many examples. In our bodies of the of course, we have nothing to talk. In the present day, we have so many examples. We have Lynnwood Prabhu. We have Lynnwood Prabhu. Prabhupada said. Lynnwood Prabhu is a sadhu, Paramahamsa. He is from Portland. Has been living in Vrindavan since 1984. He's an American. Last 30-40 years he's been living in Vrindavan. He is known for Brajavasi Parikramas. He speaks Braj Bhasha probably more fluently than the Brajavasis. In Braj he's called as Lynnwood Baba. I gone Parikramas with him. And we went to Prasad, Mother and I went to Prasad, and we were walking the steps. And some random Brajavasis saw him. And he looked at Lynnwood and said, Baba! Lynnwood Baba! And I was amazed thinking, here's someone who's physically born in America and is so dear and close to the hearts of the Brajavasis. So he's a Brahmasta. We have Sripad Mukundadatta, who was a Pujari Krishna Balaram. He last 40 years in Vrindavan. Very highly advanced now. So many examples. So which means even hundreds, even grahastas can get Krishna. But it depends on the seriousness, the intensity. If that is there is no stopping. Which again holds true for brahmachari and sannyasi also. Just the cloth doesn't guarantee Krishna. It is the chesha. It is the activities that determine how slow or how fast the person will go.
So when we take it, which hand, right? So you said our old karmas are gone, right? When we start chanting, or when we attain that like nishtha chanting, where like only Krishna devotional service, then we will happen.
Chanting will certainly yield result. But with our chanting, it is safe to say that it will not put the whole world on fire. Safe to say. Because our chanting is not one pointed chanting, our chanting is mixed with our phone, our office job, etc. For those who are chanting one pointed, sitting and chanting, crying for the Lord, then Krishna will set the whole thing. But in our case also, because we are chanting, effect is going to be 100%. 100%. There is no doubt. But the intensity in which we chant determines this. Yes.
So like our taking birth as animals and basically going through different dharmas, basically, that whatever fruits we are getting there,
In our planets,
our planet and basically the lower planets and basically even in the animal lives.
so first thing is the concept of karma is applicable only to humans. Krishna in the 15th chapter verse 2 he says karma न बंधी मनुष्य कर्म का जो चक्र है केवल मनुष्य पर लगता है पशु योनि पर कर्म का चक्र नहीं लगता because when a tiger kills a deer tiger doesn't get karma tiger doesn't have to follow foreign principles for the tiger he kills a deer there is no karma why because कर्म का चक्र भगवान इस प्रकार बनाया कि केवल मनुष्य पर ही लगता है कर्माण बंधी मनुष्य कर्म का जो चक्र है बंधन केवल मनुष्य पर so animals don't have any karma that is why animals get promoted eventually to human if someone is a tiger some spiritual is a tiger eventually he will be promoted to a human why because karma chakra he evolves gradually into a human unless he comes in contact with a devotee or a devotee can tell the ear etc then he is promoted Naam promotes the whole thing it's like a elevation second is let's say someone is Indra Chandra Agni Vayu Varuna they're as demigods the principle there is so much Aishwarya, there is so much happiness that they don't do akarma, they don't do devotion service. Right? You will not find Indra chanting Hare Krishna. You will not find Chandra doing bhajan. There are few examples in Braj we will find there is Chandra Sarovar etc. But generally you don't find a demigod doing bhajan. Why? Because there is so much Aishwarya, so much happiness and there is no impetus to do bhakti. Bhakti का भगवान के पास कब जाते हैं? When do we go to Bhagwan? When there is problem in our life, correct? In our case, when everything is happy, how many times do we go to Nilamala and say, "My dear Lord, so much I have very good, very nice, very good." But when there is anxiety, we go to the Lord naturally. It's a natural calling of the heart. In the upper planets, there is no suffering like here. There is so much happiness that there is no impetus to go to Bhagwan, which means the chances of they doing bhakti is very very less. Which means Shastra explains this way Krishna says, "Ah Brahma Bhuvanaka Punaravati Arjuna." Even if you become Brahma, फिर से मनुष्य बनना पड़ता है. The only species through which you can break the cycle of birth and death is a human species. Neither demigod, neither an animal. Demigod, yes, if Krishna wants. That is why he said Ichha Vasat. यदि भगवान चाहे तो हो सकता है. Generic understanding of this Krishna and Gita very clearly says, even if you become Brahma, Brahma Bhuvanaka Punaravati होता है. हे अर्जुन, यदि आप ब्रह्मा भी बन जाए, फिर से आना पड़ेगा. तो कर्म का चक्र लगता है केवल मनुष्य पर. Not in animals, not in upper planets. It's only. And here it decides whether we go up, whether we go down, or whether we transcend everything and go up. Everything happens from the human species. Yes.
So probably like when someone takes shelter of Guru, it says like all the karma gets transferred to Guru, right? So then so is that for all three types of karma or what happens then from there? Oh.
So,
What is the question?
so when someone takes initiation,
जी एक क्वेश्चन है सर
हाँ,
मतलब प्रारब्ध कर्म और क्रियात्मक कर्म एक साथ चलता है
प्रारब्ध और
प्रारब्ध कर्म
हाँ जी।
और क्रियमान
हाँ
कर्म
जी।
दोनों एक साथ
एक
चलता
साथ
है
चलता है. क्रियमान जो अब है, मान लीजिए आप चलकर मंदिर आए, या तो क्रियमान है.
जी
बट आपके जीवन में आपने सुख और दुख का अनुभव किया होगा, या तो प्रारब्ध.
अच्छा
साथ में
दोनों एक साथ ही
चलती
चलती
है. साथ में चलती है. जो अच्छा करना है ये आपके हाथ में है.
अच्छा
आप यहाँ मंदिर आना है कि नहीं वो आपके हाथ में है. आप चाहे तो पिक्चर देख सकते थे.
जी
तो ये जो चलकर यहाँ आए, भगवान के बारे में सुने, श्रवण के नाम जब ये क्रियमान है.
अच्छा
ये प्रारब्ध आपके जीवन में आपने जो सुख दुख दोनों का अनुभव किया, ये प्रारब्ध.
अच्छा
दोनों साथ.
तो क्रियमान प्रारब्ध को काट सकता है
क्रियमान संचित को काटता है.
अच्छा संचित को काट
हाँ,
सकता है
प्रारब्ध को नहीं काटता.
जी
प्रारब्ध तो तभी काटता है जब भगवान चाहे, इच्छा हो, यदि भगवान की इच्छा हो और आप इतने तीव्र भजन करते हैं प्रहलाद महाराज के समान, तो भगवान संतुष्ट होकर बोलते हैं कि ये भी माफ कर दिया.
अच्छा
वरना भक्तों के लिए संचित निकल जाता है, प्रारब्ध होता है, वो होगा करता है.
थैंक यू सर
Which is same to the point that you mentioned. When you take initiation, she gives you guidance on what your kriyamana should be. Shri Guru will say chant, don't break the principles. We have to follow our rules of it. If you follow it, if you don't follow that, it becomes such. Shri Guru destroys karma if we meditation and this is such. But Prarabdha is like still karma. What is our problem? Sanchit gets destroyed, but our Kriyamana is not that they fully surrendered to Krishna. We do all activities, which eventually again becomes Sanchit. So Shri Guru is helping by reducing the border. But as a disciple, we are still not qualified to have a clean slate. You get what I mean? So if our Kriyamana is perfect, as Shri Guru expressed, picture it. And Shri Guru is taken Sanchit completely. Then this is your last life where you bear the fruit of Prarabdha and you get Krishna. But what we do, Sanchit, that goes away. Prarabdha is and our Kriyamana also, we are little wishy-washy.
So probably like when Guru takes it, like, so Guru takes all the karma, and like how is that fair for Guru, right? Like Guru's elevated.
That is why it is causes Vasudeva. Shri Guru is in that way. That let everyone get Krishna. That let everyone get Krishna. I will somehow. This is why we see many times we find Shri Guru may have health ailments. Where they come from the sinful reaction of the disciples. So becoming Guru is not very good. Either would say it is better to become a fully self-realized disciple than wanting to become Guru for name and fame. Because if you don't want to spend, you are going to drown in disciples. Becoming Guru is not for you. Because imagine collection of thousands of disciples. Shri Guru takes it and suffers to make it physically exist. Yes, sir.
आपने जो एक लाइन बोली थी ना वो जीवन स्वरूप है कृष्ण वो आपने कहा था भगवत गीता की चैप्टर में चल हाँ
Prabhu, I have a question. So, Valmiki Rishi, who wrote Ramayana, before he became Valmiki, he was Ratnakar. And I remember the story. So Ratnakar was a dacoit who robbed even Brahmanas. He killed tons and tons of them. So he must have accumulated quite a bit of negative karma, right? So are we to say that by becoming Valmiki Rishi and did all of that disappear in that single lifetime? Did he have that? Because that is pretty intense, right? I mean, all the activities of Ratnakar.
Yes. This Kriyamana, was not very good to the according to the thief, so on and so forth. But after he met Narada, which is Ichansa, the Lord wanted Narada walked into his life. And then he started chanting Brahma. And the intensity of his chanting was so much that there was an anthill over his body. In Sanskrit, anthill is called a Valmikam. He who chanted essentially to Bhagavan naam, itna jap kiye, that there was an anthill formed over his body. Still he didn't stop. It's called Valmiki. The Valmikam is an anthill. So his intensity of taking shelter and the intensity of his repentance was so high, the name of Krishna, the name of Ram, was really precious. Naam has the power, 100% without doubt. As you said, Naam can burn sunshine. Prarabdha is our Krishna. But his chanting was so intense that Krishna empowered him by the association of a very high class sadhu. And it didn't come overnight. He strived, he chanted. Just like chanting every time. We don't have that intensity, he had that intensity. And Sri Ram is by empowering him to become the author of Ramayana. So, if the chanting is very intense, this this can really surely be the last time. This is where Prabhupada would say 99% of our advancement is based on chanting the direction. This is Prabhupada saying. Because all our advancement is based on how we chant and how intensely we chant. Whether the chanting is just to chant or whether it's a form of desperation. If the child is in another room and is calling out to the mother, small child, the mother may have we put it this way. Let's say the mother is there, the teacher, and the child is there in another room, small child. And he calls out to the mother. The mother is busy the teacher, so she may give a child to divert his attention so that she can do the routines and whatever the teacher. The child again calls out to the mother. The mother will give some thought. The child will again try the mother will do something. Just to divert the attention of the child. But finally, the mother realizes that this child is only crying for him, and none of these toys and chocolates are going to give him happiness. Then the mother drops everything that she is going to teach and comes to the child. Similarly, if we are chanting, Krishna can give different toys and all that. They give different chocolates. If we are happy with that, Krishna is okay, great. But even after that, we need to the side, it's a question, Lord, I am not human. It is like the crying child desperately wanting the mother. Krishna in the Gita he says, Pita vasya jagato mata dhamma pita, because I am the mother, I am the father. When the chanting is like that, that chanting burns the jitta, that intense chanting. Otherwise, all the chanting will have effect. But to set the whole ground on fire, so grounds on fire, chanting has to be very, very distinct.
Public worship is even the prabhu karma God. Sanchita karma
So, as we said, three things cannot be changed. What did the Lord wish? Which we want to change. The laws are made under him. He is not under the laws. He can change it. But that is based on how much the living entity wants. Without individual.
How does it happen? Yeah, but if there is a collective karma, I heard somewhere like, it happens to the individual karma, there is a collective karma also. It happens to the
Let's say there's a flight accident. Air India flight is going to London and now there's a flight crash. Similar people having similar karma coming together, which is laws of nature. It may not happen very often, but if there are people having similar karmic reaction from different lifetimes, the material nature is such, it may get them together and nullify the body. There is no Sanskrit term for it, but it cannot be denied, as you said, it cannot be denied. Otherwise, why is it that we see of the 270 people who departed at the end of my crash, there was this one guy in seat 11A or whatever, he survived. What is the justification we can give for that? Right? So karma comes into different. For every reason practically he should have also departed. He was the only person who survived, and he's perfect. So yes, that it can be taken into consideration. I don't know whether there is a Sanskrit in my not in the course, but it cannot be denied for the fact that different people can be the many times there are accidents or incidents that happen where all of them get affected together. Let's say earthquake, tsunami, or whatever.
COVID is one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. COVID is one.
Yes, Prabhu. Why should I ask it?
Just a break.
Let's see where my brother takes me. So this is, you see, this is Prarabdha Sanchit, becoming Prarabdha overnight.
We know some more details, right? We want
Prarabdha also there are things, right? Prarabdha is all world. That's Lord. You are learned directly under Lord, it's not under the laws of the Lord.
Hare
Maharaj keeps playing on his flute. I don't know what you call it, but it looks like a flute. The other day, in a temple I saw, he was playing this song on repeat. So follow in his footsteps.
Kali Leela, then Bali Leela and Nanda Leela. But for us it is season 1, which is coming for an end, but we are hoping that we'll have a season 2. To continue on this journey of knowing about Lord Sri Chaitanya. And if not for you, like many of us would not even have known the glories of Lord Chaitanya. So thank you a lot from the bottom of our heart. And seeing in these past 2.5 years, like the congregation grow, and especially the kids, how they have grown. So it's all your guidance and support and your association. So I would like to really thank you, and would like to invite any other devotees who would like to say a few words. Yes.
Hare Krishna, and Hare Krishna Mataji. I haven't prepared anything, but I must say that we are super grateful for you, what you have done to us, what you have done to our kids. As parents, we worry about where our kids will go, like what character will they develop. But I think last year, this year at the GP, I remember Anya had asked about is Krishna real? And she was trying to ask this question for a lot of people, and she was not getting a satisfactory answer. But then she spoke with you, and you so beautifully explained her curiosity grows. What I'm trying to say is, though you and Mataji have so much immense influence on our kids and us, that as Prabhu was saying, we consider you as a part of family. This is not, again, it's a selfish reason. We hope that you come again here and continue our Chaitanya Charitamrita. Our best wishes to you. Krishna definitely has something very well planned for you, as you also were saying. So, best wishes for you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. There is one lady was sitting right behind. She calls me mother sometimes. But Prabhu, I don't have very many words to say, but I do want to say, past 2.5, maybe about approximately 3 years now. It's like your association has given us so much change, difference in our home programs, whether they were home programs or even the temple programs now. I think that sometimes we talk about the pillars in our lives, in our bhakti, in our other stuff. I think building up this congregation, you are having a very strong pillar. And now I feel, what can I say? I think right now when we were having this Kirtan, usually when we are like Nitai Gaur or Hari Gaur, we are ecstatic and we want that to approach fast. Today I was like, no, I don't want that to approach. Yes, I was just telling her, you give examples sometimes of Indian ads and how Indian people relate to it. I say in that term only, milte bete vata. So yeah, that's, I think, and what to talk about kids, anyone sitting over here, you have influence or impacted everyone, you have touched everyone, I think, anybody who's been in your or Sudhir Mataji's association, you have touched everyone. That's all that I have to say.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we don't only learn, we didn't only learn Chaitanya Charitamrita from you, we learned the Vaishnava characters also from you. I remember first first time I started in my house and did a snack them. And then next day I found you in the temple giving a lecture. And then there was a prashadam time, we were sitting on the floor and honoring the prashadam, and I was thinking, wow, he was just giving a lecture upstairs and now he's only sitting and honoring the prashadam just like us. So that moment really touched me. And as I shared earlier, I wanted to invite you to my house, but I was hesitant whether you will come or not. And then I messaged you and you replied, yes. Me and my prabhu were jumping up and down that you are coming. And you blessed us and you came. I will never forget that moment. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for everything.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I just want to sincerely thank you for your association and teaching us Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita with so much clarity, details and enthusiasm. What I really appreciated about your class was how uniquely you explained even the most philosophical topics with your personal anecdotes and such relatable examples. Like they leave an impact on us and this makes us easy to grasp all the concepts which are very hard to understand otherwise. And I always look forward to attending your class, whether it was in person or online. And after every class, there was something to reflect about for me, like every single time. And it just strengthened my appreciation for Lord Chaitanya's teaching. So at the end, I just want to say, although you are leaving, but we are grateful for the time we had in your association. And I really pray to God to bless your service in India, and may you continue to inspire many, many, many more devotees like us. And please bless us as well so that we continue studying the Chaitanya Charitamrita, maybe online for now until we are back, and develop genuine devotion for Lord. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Suruchi already आपकी best student थी class की, तो there's nothing I can say to do that. But मैं थोड़ा सा अलग हूँ बाकी सबसे, मेरे कक्षी भी अलग होते हैं, so thank you for being with me. And आपने हमारे घर में आकर हमारे घर को भी सीखा, उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. और हर एक जो उस व्यास गद्दी पे बैठता है स्पीकर, उसकी अपनी अपनी ट्रेड्स होती हैं. नॉलेज तो सबके पास होती है, लेकिन उस नॉलेज को इम्पार्ट करने के लिए स्किल होते हैं. That's the one that differentiates one from the other, and whether you are able to connect with them or not. And that's basically our personal thing. So that's where, like Suruchi said, definitely we will miss your presence, and we wish that you are able to come back soon, and we are able to have your association for a long time to come. And thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. Thank you for presence. And yeah, I just pray to Bhagavan, to Krishna and Shiva, that they just keep you under their blessing. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much for coming here. I remember once you came and it was at their house, and you asked me, why don't you come every day, every Friday when we were doing lectures upstairs? And I'm like, I'm kind of upstairs. So then I came to your lecture one day, and it was like really, really fun. And so I came to lectures after that, a few, but I didn't really go to that many. And the lectures I went to, they were like really fun. So thank you. Hare Krishna.
I find it so amazing that
association coming here every Saturday is so long from the temple all the way to where you are, and the fact that almost every Saturday you come and you give our community such wonderful classes, such well thought classes, and like my dad said, before I got to I asked questions to so many devotees about, I was how you know, it's just Krishna idea, but when I asked you, you gave such a beautiful answer, it made me like, oh my god, wait, he is, and it finally made me realize that he is, and thank you so much for everything you did to me and our family, like just the dedication you have, and like the most funniest gift I have is like every Saturday after your lecture, it's like me and Kage both run to your because it's so fun. And thank you so much. And I really hope it's really hard to say goodbye, so please come back. And you'll always have a place in our community, so please, as soon as you get a chance to come back to Lynnwood.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhuji, it was fun to stay with you. I get to this association like since 4 or 5 months. Still, I feel like we have been associating since many years. So thank you so much for everything. Please bless us as well. Even like tiny fraction of your service, what you have done to Sri Lanka, listen, your gentleman's vision, so we can follow this path. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hope we will see you soon. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
I don't know how it's possible to thank you for 3 years in just a couple of minutes, but I'll try to do whatever I can. I think like your Chaitanya classes, like I never felt very motivated to hear Kata. So like before hearing your classes, me and all the other kids would run upstairs when Gopi would give his Bhagavatam classes and then come down at the end for Kirtan. And then when you started your classes, Rohiti, that was the first time I actually sat down in any class properly and started listening. And I remember first Chaitanya class I went to, it was a couple classes in, you asked what were the reasons for Bhagavad to come down. And I remember I read something in Chaitanya Prabhu, so I responded. And then you were like, oh, how do you know you haven't attended class? And in that moment I was thinking like, Prabhu, like, he has so many people to love him, but he's still like thinking about each and every person. And I was thinking like, if he's thinking about it, maybe I should join class. And after that I started listening, and as I listened, I started to feel genuine appreciation for Srila Prabhupada and all of our acharyas who have sacrificed so much for us. And for you who have sacrificed so many hours, you come home so late at night just for us to give classes. And you have inspired us youth so much. Me, Madhav, and Sahana, we were talking, and as this past week went on, we kept talking about how we'll miss you more and more every time. And how after school I would like wait, I would think, oh, it's Friday now, tomorrow Chaitanya class will happen to Arjun Sakha, and your class will be the highlight of my week. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for all you have done, and I hope that wherever you end up, and in whatever place you end up, that you're able to continue your bhakti and you're able to inspire you like you have inspired us to do. Thank you.
I think kids have prepared some cards.
Very Shamit. Very Shamit.
Yeah, you want to all
Go
one by one.
Come, please come.
Yeah, you go first because everyone's card inside there. Yeah.
Sit with the group. Okay. Who wants to go first and give? Maybe start with.
Okay, come on. Come on, let's arms.
So Yashita did the crochet and make this for you.
You want to tell sloka? Last week you said you want to tell one sloka to Prabhu.
Yes, what's the story?
रक्षणाय मम राम लक्ष्मणा भद्रतः पति सदैव गच्छता
She is good at essay writing. Everyone has written on that one.
I wrote it back and I ran on his face.
Thank you for playing with the years and all our kids. If there was one constant I can think of in the start of the program, in the end of the program, and while Katha, it was not her. I remember when we started doing the home programs, I remember at one point Nandamara played the Buddha, and one day I saw a picture. And then from that day on, I think maybe more than 2 weeks now. Every program, sincerely, he will be there ahead. He'll play Buddha at the start, at the end, he will listen the whole class. And as a speaker, you would know when your audience is attentive and when they're just sitting. And I could say with full assurance that he was definitely there in the class.
Okay.